Don, can you tell us how measured selection was? What were you thinking of what you wanted to do at selection?
We go through the normal process this week in terms of selection. We select the team we think is best suited to play and win the game at Brisbane.
Did it have to deal with the issues of the previous 2 weeks though?
We looked, obviously the last couple of weeks we've gone a little bit away from how we played really well in the first part of the year, and we made some changes at selection. We bring in some fresh faces, which is great for Jordan and for Hugh, their opportunity to play at the level, and Jake Lever comes back. So yeah, we're probably more looking at how we can return to playing the way we were early in the season.
What was the message to Josh?
Oh, look, with Josh it was more go back to the sample. We're looking for some things with Josh that we want him to improve on. Probably just more consistently. We're seeing them at times, but not consistently, and give him the opportunity to go back there and do that and put his case forward.
Were his ribs an issue, a lingering issue? Do you feel like he hasn't been the same player he was before he did it?
I think it's probably not his ribs. I think it's probably just also he missed 5 weeks worth of football, and coming back in, as I said, he was doing some things we liked. There's some things we just want him to work on more consistently. So I'm sure he's going to go back with a really positive attitude. He'll work on those things, and we'll see what it looks like for selection next week.
How tough a call was it to drop both of those guys, Don?
Oh, look, it's always difficult when you leave out players who have had played a lot of footy for your footy club, but we base it on performance and how the players were performing, and we felt that the changes were right for the individual and also for the team.
Was there a bit of grace then?
Catch them off guard?
Oh no, we have conversations with our players every week regarding how they're travelling in terms of their own form and their role within the team and the expectations, and both those guys get an opportunity to to do something about that with performance and put their hand back up.
Was there a bit of grace then with a few others who might be working on credit points from the past?
No, there's not really.
2 weeks?
No, not really. I think, look, you're mindful of how many changes you can make, but we also understand that we've got some guys who've played some really good footy, and we're looking for guys to do it consistently. In the case of both Josh and David, we made a decision that we felt that we could get a change, if you like, through leaving them out.
So tell us about the 2 new lads. What can we expect to see from both of those?
Well, with Jordan, he's an early draft pick for us. He's got good speed, good energy around the ball. He'll play primarily forward with a bit of a look through the midfield. Exciting talent, so we're really excited to see what he can produce for us. And Hugh Greenwood, as I spoke about last week, so a great story really for a guy who's transitioned back into footy after a period at basketball, but he does his best work as an inside midfielder at SANFL level, and he's probably been our most consistent player at SANFL level. So again, exciting for him, and 2 first games is a great injection of some freshness as well and energy.
Don, overall, is it just form that's the problem, or is it attitude that's causing the form issues?
No, I think what you're talking about, we're a really even competition, super even competition. I think on reflection this week, between myself and the players and the coaching group, is we've marginally gone away from what made us successful in the first part of the year. So there's no magic cure out there. This is about actually going back, rolling our sleeves up and getting back to the things we were doing early in the season, and look, the primary focus is around our contested ball, and we understand that the level we set earlier in the year was high, and that got us a result, and we need to return to that this week.
But is that attitude?
Well, it's mixed in. It's all mixed in. Again, I don't you can sit there and probably do your head in trying to think through all that, how that works. But in a 22-game season, you're going to have moments where you're not going to be at the level, and you're going to have moments where the opposition, as Melbourne did last week, came with a ferocious attitude around the ball. But we've had that in the first 6 weeks. So we've got capacity. We've just got to make sure we return to that and bring that come Saturday night.
So what was your approach at training this week?
Yeah, so we did some work on our contest stuff at training. We had a really good session on Wednesday night. The guys had high energy and were up and about, and I'm a believer that you end up playing the way you train, and it was one of our better sessions. So looking for that to translate into the game.
Everyone talks about momentum in footy, and you've had 2 weeks of really damaging momentum against Adelaide. What have you done to think about how you can deal with that?
Yeah, so the North Melbourne game was a blowout in a quarter, and we had a conversation after that game about what we might have been able to do, both from a playing viewpoint and from a coaching viewpoint. And there were probably some things in there which we could have looked at to give the players some assistance on game day. Last week was probably more of a slow burn in terms of the goals and the chains against, and how they came about was through really that contest stuff and some work rate. And look, there's no secret in this game in terms of your capacity to work and the effort you bring, and they're the 2 things which hold us in good stead, and they're the 2 things which we're really strong at in the first part of the year. We've just got to return to doing that.
So what did you learn coaching wise?
In terms of the
So what did you learn coaching-wise of what to deal with when momentum shifts against a footy team?
Yeah, well, we've got some plays in place that we could have put in place in that situation. And look, to be honest, the first thing is always to back your players in. I'm going to back my players in to be able to turn that around, and in the first 6 weeks they were able to do that. The last couple of weeks we haven't been able to. As I said, a lot of that stems from our ability to compete around the ball and compete consistently, and then our work rate from there. There's no magic cure in that space, but we could try some things as well.
Has there ever been more doom and gloom about a team that's top of the ladder?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, that's we've had a couple of poor weeks, and we sit on top.
Are you taking? Who are you taking over Don as your travelling emergency?
Dave McKay will travel for us. Yeah.
Well, guys.
Thanks, guys.